What single phrase, regardless of who says it, instantly ticks you off? Story 1. If that'll make you feel better, said in a totally patronizing way. In the original story, I went with my father to purchase a used car. I was 28 at the time and was looking at a 13-year-old car that was worth about $1,000. They were asking $1,400, and it needed a tune-up, new brakes, and tires. So $1,000 was all I was willing to pay. The entire time we were there, the salesman was trying to sell my dad instead of me, until my dad told him 2 times that it was my car, my decision. Once I negotiated the salesman down to $1,000, he left to get the manager to sign off on it. The sales manager came in and told me there was no way they could go that low, because they bought it at an auction and had more than that in it. After I reiterated that it wasn't worth that much due to the work it needed, he told me that he could knock off $100, if that'll make you feel better. I said no thanks, got up and walked out with my father following me. 3 weeks later, they advertised it for $1,200 in the paper, and 2 weeks after that, it was listed for sale by someone else for much less. I already had another car by then from somewhere else, so I just laughed. Story 2. Calm down. I was having an issue with my battery in my car. I took it to a mechanic. He fixed the issue. I drove it home. Next day, I got in, drove it down the road, and my left front wheel started jacking up horribly. My car is the kind that you need to remove the left front tire to remove the battery. Whoever invented that deserves to burn in hell. I got a tow truck and took it back to the same mechanic. Turns out he had only put one lug nut back on. I started to raise my voice. He told me to calm down, and I could see my husband do a full-body cringe out of the corner of my eye, approximately 2 seconds before I went nuclear. To date, it's the only Karen moment I've ever had, but I feel I was fully justified. You don't get to frick up my car and then tell me to calm down. Ended up needing a new tire, rim, and battery because after all that stuff, his repair didn't even work. Justified as told. Ruling non-Karen. Sorry, what could have happened if you lived on a busy road? Totally justified and not a Karen moment. I work in retail, I'm used to Karens. Story 3. No offense, but the color scheme on your Civic engine is going to cost you a few horses and pork. Well, not to be racist, but do you have the time? Why are you asking me? You assume just because I'm white I have a watch? This is BS. Don't even give me this crap that you can clearly see I'm wearing a watch. On a side note, be careful about that phrasing. Reminds me of a story my mother told about from decades back. She really wanted to know what time it was. She worked in fast food at the time and was waiting for my father to pick her up after work. She asked a guy if he had the time. He responded that he should have known something like this would happen in that area. He thought she was trying to proposition him and was a prostitute. She really had no idea what he was thinking when he started reacting. She really just wanted to know what time it was. Story 4. You get what you get and you don't get upset. Since I was a kid, that stuff ticked me off. There's a store brand soda vending machine at a grocery store by my house that sells cans of soda for like 35 cents. All the usual flavors are there. Dr. Wright, Mountain Mist, all the hits, all the classics. There's one selection, however, called You Got What You Got and You Don't Throw a Fit. I just couldn't resist. I pushed that button and out came brand grapefruit soda. I came so close to throwing a fit. Luckily, my wife likes grapefruit soda, so I gave it to her. Content like this is why I joined the internet. Gimme, never gets it. Makes me aggressively angry and I can't explain why. Story 5. The fad of calling any controversy, whatever gate, drives me up the dang wall every time I hear it. Is Richard Nixon really the only controversial character in history worth comparison? How hard is it to be just a little more creative? Well, now this is a conspiracy. This OP is trying to silence the truth. We have a new conspiracy to rave about. I call it Gate. Also, Watergate was not a water-related controversy. Are you thinking of Watergate Gate? Story 6. I could care less. It's I couldn't care less. Come on. What if they say they could care less is intentional? Maybe they are using an incredible play on words to say that they want to care less, but they can't help but care. After all, replying with anything resembling the words I don't care clearly shows that you care enough about the topic to comment on it. That's why anyone who says anything about not caring about something gets on my nerves a little bit. I could care less, but that would take effort, and I don't care enough to do the work. I blame the Breakfast Club. Also, should of. Story 7. You're too young to be tired. Hi, Karen. My grandmother-in-law is from Thailand and says this to me all the time. I have 4 kids and work 50-plus hours a week. I'll be tired when I darn well feel like it. You're too young to... anything is pretty annoying. Young people apparently can't be tired or depressed or anxious, can't have back or neck pain, can't decide when they want children or a marriage, can't understand any concepts an older person understands. Story 8. When anyone self-proclaims, I just have no filter, it's just an excuse to not be responsible for their actions. If anyone says this, just ask them to say the N-word. Nebraska? But don't you let me catch you saying that. Story 9. Good girl. This should only be said to people significantly younger than you. Example, me, 33, to 2-year-old that does something they were struggling with. My 89-year-old grandma to me when I managed to sew a stitch I was having trouble with. Or to dogs. Yes, I do agree with you. Excellent female. Story 10. Video games cause violence. Any stupid conspiracy theory that is based on a scary buzzword like radiation or phrases with toxins, natural, organic as an excuse for something being better or worse. It has ingredients I can pronounce. Seems to be a new one on that list. You know what's easy to pronounce? Lead. Doesn't mean it's good for you. You know what's hard? Well, mildly inconvenient to pronounce? Dihydrogen monoxide. It's water. F to the chemists who can pronounce all of the ingredients. Story 11. To a kid, I'll give you something to cry about. That's crap parenting. Stop crying or I'll give you a reason to cry. Like, which what the frick? I said it before, I'll say it again. Parenting is one of the most challenging and complicated tasks you can ever take on. Most people, aren't cut out for it. My mom said that to my brother. I say, yeah, go on, cry all you want, you won't make anything with it anyway. Sounds worse now that I wrote it and read it. Story 12. You know how women are. Boys will be boys ticks me off too. Useless apostrophes are my pet peeve. Me too, my guy. Plus, people still do not know the difference between your and there, and there. It's really not that complicated. Story 13. Just calm down. Get over it. If I can do it, so can you. You're not trying. You're so sensitive. You never listen. You always complain. I have insert mental illness too, and I can do this. That last one is rage-inducing. Mental illness is a spectrum of severity. I have GAD, but I can hold down a job and such. A frick ton of people have it more severe and need so many meds to function, they can't. Ah, I see you've met my ex. Story 14. Agree to disagree. What do you say in a situation where you clearly see that continuing the argument will just be an endless gaping pit for your time and energy, and you're clearly not going to reach common ground? The goal being to distance yourself from the argument without telling the other person to go doodle themselves. Yeah, it's best to back out of a tense debate when both parties are getting increasingly frustrated and common ground feels out of reach. Those conversations just leave me sweaty and angry, and I prefer to avoid that, especially with friends. Story 15. It's a prank, bro. Which, I don't care, don't try that stuff with me. It's just a joke. It's a joke equals my stupid unfunny joke is more important than your feelings. Ultimately, it's my feelings versus your feelings. It hurts to be rejected, so when you reject my joke, it actually must be that you just don't understand jokes. Oh, phew, saved myself from feeling something unpleasant. Story 16. The fact of the matter is usually followed by an opinion, not a freaking fact. My first reaction to this was, yeah, that's facts. At which point I realized it's definitely an opinion, which is ironic. Yes, thank you, this one bugs the crap out of me, because it's so often followed by opinion or incorrect or incomplete facts. I feel the same way about, if you think about it, followed by opinion. Hey, actually, I have thought about it, and I don't agree. Story 17. Happy wife, happy life. Just no. Happy spouse, happy house. That stuff's gotta go both ways. If you want to be happy for the rest of your life, don't make the pretty woman your wife. Listen to my personal point of view. Get an ugly girl to marry you. Story 18. If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. If you give me 6 lines written by the hand of the most honest of men, I will find something in them which will hang him. Supposedly said by Cardinal Richelieu. My favorite response, if that were true, shouldn't the government declassify everything? The problem is, every single person on this planet has something to hide. Story 19. That's just your opinion when comparing something. What about, that's just like your opinion, man? Is that one better? I also hate that when it's a completely objective, verifiable fact that is being dismissed as, that's just your opinion, or a demonstrably false statement being supported with, I'm entitled to my opinion. Story 20. Nobody. Not a single soul. Absolutely freaking no one. Not even a single cat. Story 21. Never mind. In response to me asking them to repeat something. For freak's sake, if it was important enough to say the first time, it's important enough to repeat it so I can make sure I understood, and if it's not, then why get all passive-aggressive about it? Story 22. If you insult someone back, then you're just as bad as them. Not as bad as, if you hit someone back, you're just as bad as them. Screw off, how is defending myself equal to attacking an innocent person for no reason? School logic. Story 23. You look tired. What the crap does that mean? What even goes on in your mind to even say that? Why are you even commenting negatively on somebody's appearance? You're an absolute piece of filth. I have not once in my life thought, hey, let me comment negatively on this person's appearance that they cannot immediately fix. If you say this, I hate you. Story 24. Be normal. Right, well, we can talk about normality until the cows come home. What is normal? Where's home? What are cows? Hi, how are you? Lovely weather we're having. Well, okay, see you around. Story 25. Why are you wearing no clothes and covered in baby oil? It gets annoying after a while. I find it worse when they also ask, what are you doing in my house and how did you get in? Yeah, though it's fun seeing them try to catch me and their hands slipping as I run away screeching. Story 26. I'm in my 20s, and anytime a woman older than me refers to me as babe or honey, sweetie, it makes me cringe every time. If the woman is the same age as me, it makes me super uncomfortable. This is usually in a restaurant situation where it's a waitress, one of my biggest pet peeves. Story 27. Calm down, especially when my mom screams it in my face, and whenever my dad compares me to other kids and how they devote the time to their schoolwork. Well, guess what, you little poop? I've been devoting all my time to helping you outside just to make sure you don't hurt yourself. Story 28. It is what it is. It's what it's. I'll be honest, I say this when someone is complaining or venting, and I don't know what else to say because I'm a piece of crap. Story 29. It's gonna be in the last place you look. Yeah, that's because I'll stop looking when I find it, you bumbling cretin. Most people I know who use it do it for that exact reason. It's meant to be more funny than actual advice, I guess, although still can be annoying at times. Story 30. Say hello to my little friend. I agree, it was cool in Scarface, but people just say it so much that at this point it's blatantly dumb and not bad butt in any way, shape, or form. I was only introducing you to my little mate who is vertically challenged. Story 31. Why are you mad? I'm not mad, I just have a resting witch face. Would it kill you to smile? It's my freaking face. I look like this all the time. Story 32. I don't know is not an answer. I totally forgot about that one. How is it not a freaking answer? I don't know what to tell you. I hated that response so much. Story 33. You're a man, suck it up, or variations of this. Telling a guy to man up is the same as telling a woman to get back in the kitchen. It bothers me so much when my grandma tells my nephew to man up. Story 34. Calm down. If I wasn't angry before, I am now. If someone is upset, instead of saying calm down, just tell them to shut the frick up. Story 35. This generation really doesn't know blah blah blah, or kids nowadays. Back in my day. Story 36. Are you even trying? Read this as Diva from Overwatch. Not sure if you play. Story 37. I seen. No, you didn't see something happen. You saw it. Seen it happen. Story 38. but your insert gender or race here, as if your race or gender determines your validation on something. Story 39. Do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ? Unless it's on a meme. Story 40. I literally did something literally. Actually, it's literally. And Perkins. Story 41. Anything with these words on the internet. Trump, Biden, COVID, virus, police. Story 42. You looked better before. Well, good freaking thing I didn't ask you, Stacy. Whether it be my hair color or my weight, someone has to comment on the way I look. Story 43. Everything happens for a reason. Like when I slap someone, the reason is that they said that. Story 44. Whenever someone says K, period, to me in any way, shape, or form, I once blocked a girl for a week or so for saying that to me because she was mad at me. K. Story 45. They're just doing it to get a reaction out of you. Yeah, I know that's what they're doing, and god dang it, it's working. That's not an excuse. Story 46. It's a Jersey thing. Like, shut up, instead of using it as an excuse for calling me muff cabbage. Story 47. My truth. There is no such thing as your truth. There's the truth, and there's falsehood. Story 48. Let's be honest. So we were lying before? Story 49. What do you think, as an answer to any question? If I had an answer, I wouldn't have asked anything in the first place. Story 50. I'm not driving, I'm traveling. Like, seriously? The first few times I understood, but now we know that stuff doesn't fly. Give it up already. Story 51. Basically, anything like boys will be boys, or something that is describing someone a certain way because of their gender. Story 52. It's always in the last place you look. Hey, I found it, but let me keep looking just in case. Story 53. I don't usually post this sort of thing, then proceeds to post that thing as they often do. Story 54. I don't like how given became gifted. Did we agree on this? I never got my ballot. Story 55. Not my job. Oh, is it your job to ignore everything that needs to be done? Story 56. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Then shut up. Story 57. I'm not homophobic, but... Like, bro, just shut up. Story 58. Run, Forrest, run! Every time you go for a jog. Shut your mouth. Story 59. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Story 60. If you weren't on that phone all the time, or any equivalent. Story 61. I'm speaking my truth. Isn't your truth just your opinion? Story 62. Your words, not mine. I can't make any promises. Story 63. Well, actually, then goes on with their opinion. Story 64. Only extreme D-bags say, that's clutch. Story 65. Racism doesn't exist towards white people. Story 66. Did I ask? Genuinely hate hearing that. Story 67. That sounds like a you problem. Story 68. Can I speak with the manager? Story 69. Just a friendly reminder. Story 70. All lives matter. Story 71. 3 a.m. in the morning. Story 72. Boys will be boys. Story 73. That's so OCD. Story 74. Due to the fact. Story 75. All lives matter. Story 76. I'll tell you what. Story 77. New normal. Story 78. Calm down. Story 79. Oh, whatever. Story 80. Cucked. Please leave your stories in the comments. I'd love to make a video of them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.